this is really, in my opinion, an important piece of equipment that we all need to become familiar with, especially if you plan on using it. Along with...
We aren't planning on
We don't plan on that.
So if you're here, there's a good possibility that you will know where it is, you will know what it is, and you will know how to use it. Because I can guarantee you one thing, when things go bad, it's really hard to learn something that you've never used before. And the best bet, if you don't have a clue, don't touch it. And that's on anything medical. If you don't know what's going on, just leave it and dial 911 and get some help, because things can go bad really, really quick. Anyway, thanks to Ernie and Joyce, they spearheaded this project to get a device up here to get into our units, whether it's fifth wheel, trailer, park model, anything that makes moving patients around, I apologize, individuals around. Now the fire department's kicking in because I'm touching an old piece of equipment. But moving our loved ones from point A to point B. That is all this device is for. It's for moving patients from a tight situation to a better location to where they can either get loaded onto an ambulance gurney, get put into your personal vehicle, or whatever. This piece of equipment does not leave the property of Pendaries RV Park. This does not leave here. You will get overly zealous paramedics, EMTs, intermediates that will say, oh no, we need that to transport them to the hospital. Negative. If they don't have a gurney, they shouldn't be in the business. This does not go in their ambulance. It will never come back. I can guarantee it. And that I say with 100% certainty. Yes?
How expensive are they?
$1,300.
$1,300 for this one. Yeah. And this is a nice one. This is much nicer than what I had in the fire department. They had to outfit 7 ambulances, so by the time you do that, we didn't get quite that nice. And they've really improved since the times I was on the street. So this thing, I don't like rules, but rules kind of sets it in. This thing does not leave up here. When you get somebody out of your place and get them moved over, do not let somebody on an ambulance crew say that they need to transport them in this chair. I'm going to ask all of you to sit in it in a minute. You're going to see it's not the most comfortable thing to sit in. It's not bad. It's better than the alternative, but there's no way they should be bouncing down the road in one of these. The reason I bring that up is when we were talking about buying one of these, I heard that a stair chair was used to transport somebody, and that stair chair has never been seen again. So that's why I'm emphasizing this strongly, that you do not send this with your patient. They don't need it. Okay, rule number 2. And I hate rules, you guys, but rule number 2, this is a 2-person deal. Do not try to do this alone.
Yeah.
Do not try to, if you go to tip them back, the handles are just going to fold up. So you need 2 people to do this. I mean, I can show you all the tricks. It's easy enough to get them back. It's easy enough to roll them. But the intended purpose is for 2 people to use this, to be able to stabilize the individual and make it comfortable for them. And I can tell you that with the person in the front holding the front handles, especially going down the stairs, that's really a nice thing to have for the person that's strapped into this chair that has no control over what's happening. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, you guys, talk to people. If you're going to put somebody into this thing, talk to them. Tell them what you're going to do. Tell them why you're going to do it. Tell them it might even be a little bit uncomfortable, but explain things to them. If they are unconscious, explain to them why they're going to sit upright, why they're going to go in this chair, and why you're going to use this to move them out. Okay? I've been told on many occasions that even though somebody doesn't speak back to you, they understand everything you're saying. And it's very reassuring. I can tell you that my first volunteer, when they sit in here and we put the straps on them to hold them down, and I do this, is going to go, it's normal. It just feels really weird to let someone else have that much control over you. And especially when we're all with it, and we know what's happening. We know what we're here for. So just remember, don't forget why you're doing it, and talk to whoever it is that you're doing it to. Okay? That's it. That's it for rules. Really easy. Questions? Go in this chair, and why you're going to use this to move them out. Okay? I've been told on many occasions that even though somebody doesn't speak back to you, they understand everything you're saying. And it's very reassuring. I can tell you that my first volunteer, when they sit in here and we put the straps on them to hold them down, and I do this, is going to go, it's normal. It just feels really weird to let someone else have that much control over you. And especially when we're all with it, and we know what's happening. We know what we're here for. So just remember, don't forget why you're doing it, and talk to whoever it is that you're doing it to. Okay? That's it. That's it for rules. Really easy. Questions? We don't have to.
I don't need it again.
Huh?
I hope I don't need it.
You know what? I hope no one needs it. But if you do, the peace of mind of having it here and having individuals that can help you is huge. When Ernie first called me, one of the things that we all have is right here. But how many people are comfortable with setting somebody in a chair and then strapping them in and moving them up? And it's really hard when you're the front person and you reach down to grab the front legs, not to get kicked if they're conscious. But these work extremely well.
Not cheaper?
A lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. So,
I can vouch for JR, he's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I figured you could vouch for that, right?
you know, you guys, you've all heard about live weight, and you've all heard about dead weight.
There you go.
Live weight is one thing when the person can help you, and I mean help, assist. So, broke JR, I'm not picking on you, but broken leg, they can maybe hobble a little bit and take some of that weight from you. Maybe, I don't know, I wasn't here. But I'll tell you what, if they're down and they can't move, that's considered dead weight.
Well, when Joyce had her stroke up here, she was in bed, and I couldn't get her up by myself. And I don't even remember who I was around. I just knocked on Matt's door, and I think Gene was here. Were you up there?
No,
There was 4 or 5 of
the
us up
plumber.
there. Gene. And it took everything we had to get her out of bed, through the park mall, down the stairs, and into the car. Had we had that, 2 of us could have done it.
Yep,
But
2, you can do it.
it was tough. I mean, it was really tough.
Did you use a bed sheet?
No, we each grabbed a corner, Joyce, and we had a navigator, and out we went. But now that you said that, that would have been a great idea.
And that's usually what happens, you guys. You got to remember where I kind of have come from. In that situation, if I had two people and I had a bed sheet, you're out the door. You're done. It's just that easy. But this is going to make it so much easier. And again, in an emergency situation, and I'll tell you what, if it's one of your loved ones, everything goes out the window.
Yep.
Panic.
Everything goes out the window. It doesn't matter how familiar you are with this thing, how familiar you are with anything. It's like, oh my God, I need to do something. And the adrenaline kicks in. And that's where people get in trouble, unfortunately. Okay. Any other questions or any questions before we start?
Where is that going to be found?
We think we're going to store it down here. We were actually talking about putting it right here on this wall. Just hanging it up, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Most people won't even know what it is. Hang it right here. Most people hopefully.
Yeah, so it's not down where kids in the park can get a hold of it. Because they wouldn't.
It's pretty light.
You can, but if you use the sheet, it's going to get tangled up in the wheels. If you're going to use this, I prefer just to pick them up and set them in it.
So get somebody to help you.
The only time the bed sheet really helps is in Ernie's particular case, which who would think of stripping your bed?
Yeah.
Your loved one's laying in bed and not responding to you. Who's going to strip your bed and go, sorry, I am. I wouldn't even faze me to do that. But most people don't like using other people's stuff to do that because that bed sheet could be destroyed in the process, or something could be destroyed in the process. So, to me, I'll tell you I'm sorry after the fact, but I'm not going to take a minute to ask you if I can do it. It's just going to happen. Because again, things are going to kick in and going to go.
Yes, you must have two people to operate it. What if you are alone and you do not have a second person? Should you not attempt to use it? Call 911.
You know what?
Well, you're 30 hours away from 911, you know, or an hour or 30 minutes.
It's a great question, and I hesitate to answer it because it's really black and white, or it's really gray area. So here's the politically correct answer. I would prefer, if it's me, to have a partner with me to use it.
Yeah.
If you play with it enough, use it enough, and are comfortable enough with it, you might get by with a single person using it. Emphasis on might. And when you guys, you only get to sit for so long, then you're going to have to come up here so I can show you the reason why. If you're using it alone, you're going to want to tip the person back. There's a trick to tipping them back. Otherwise, you can't move them. If that front's on the ground and you have dead weight on here, it isn't going to move real easy. But these handles, they're solid in the upright position. But if you push down on them, immediately they go down. They don't lock. So that, to me, is an issue when it comes to moving people by yourself. The other thing that's bad, you guys, when you're going downstairs, it's named a stair chair for a reason. Patient is facing forward.
Yeah.
Okay? So the person in the front is walking backwards down the stairs, lifting them as you go. Reason for that, either you or your partner slip and fall, the person comes back onto me in the back, if I'm in the back. And then we can get into the whole height issue, but the back person has a majority of the weight, obviously. But if there's a vertically challenged person and a taller person, the taller person should be in the front every time to equal that lift going down. Doesn't always work out that way. That's the way it should be. I apologize. That was a roundabout non-answer that I could come up with.
He's out of practice.
I really think this should be used with 2 people. If it's me, please a couple of you come and get me. You do have my permission to strip my bed if I'm in bed. grab the bed sheet. Just keep my head up high enough, and you can bounce me right down the stairs if you want to. I have no problems with it.
Will you have clean underwear on?
Not by then.
So, my wife's not going to like me for telling this one, but I don't know if you guys know that I was in a minor mountain biking accident back in 1993 where I broke my neck and my back. I was riding with 5 medics. There were 5 of us, and they wanted to call the helicopter. I love helicopter rides. Absolutely love them. Said absolutely not. I need to go home and take a shower. So I rode 14 miles home. Called my wife, said, "Hey, hon, I know it's early." She said, "I'll be right there." Click. Didn't ask me what was wrong. Didn't ask me anything. Just said, "I'll be right there." I thought, okay, I better be ready when she gets here. So I hop in the shower, take a shower, get it all cleaned up. She walks in and goes, "How bad?" I said, I think we need to go get x-rays. She said, "But you're walking." I said, "Yep." So we went to the hospital and found out I broke C5 and T7. Yes, I had clean underwear on because I took a shower. I got away from the 24-mile bike ride that we had just done and took care of it. And at that point, modesty kind of goes out the window. That's the other hard thing with my former profession. Anyway, great. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but whoever is handling that has to be capable to lift the weight too.
Yes.
Kind of weak or
And
steady, that won't work either.
And that's why I always recommend 2 people. It is designed, if need be, you can do it with 1 person. You can do it going downstairs. Then I suggest you pray to God that the person in the chair is unconscious. Or you may be unconscious by the time you get to the lower thing, because they are going to pulverize you. It bounces. There's no shocks. It's just boom, down to the next stair. That's why we carry it down the stairs. It's the best way for it. Okay, anything else?
Is there a weight limit?
400 on this one?
On this one.
I'm so used to saying 350. 400 is a great limit, you guys. That's another reason, that we chose this chair, because so many of us have gravel in our driveways, and that weight has a tendency to be different when you're rolling over rough surfaces. So, great question.
We don't have to see.
Anything else? And you guys, this doesn't mean you can't ask questions anymore. Please, as we go along, I want you to ask all the questions you can. But at this point, it's after lunch and you're all going to fall asleep, so come on up here and fold this chair up.
So you just pulled another one.
You got it?
Yeah, there is a.
It's heavier than you think.
Oh, okay.
It's sturdy. Anybody else? It's stout. Anybody else? There she is, folded up. This is how you're going to find it on the wall. Just like this. Okay? You probably aren't going to need it in here, so put it in your vehicle, fold it up. Don't open it. Okay, so to open it, grab the lower rail and make sure that everything locks. And you're good to go. Okay, now it's deployed. Ready to put something on it. Your back handles just lift up. And that's for the person in the back. Front handles push the little release button.
That's what helps.
Okay, I've got to.
There.
So, you guys, when I said we didn't have as nice a one on the ambulance, the reason is we had smaller handles than the back handles that just folded down on that footrail. So when you would go to pick somebody up, you were standing right here, their feet were right here, so you were out like this. And
Throw your back out that way.
not a good way to carry stuff, as we all know. But since they came out with these extended handles, gives you plenty of space between yourself and who's ever sitting in the chair. Then it's just real easy, you guys. It has two straps, one for the torso, one that goes across the lap. All right?
Should be a surfer.
There is, it's right behind you.
Oh.
You guys, this is not enough strapping to put somebody in this chair. The upper one is okay. The upper one will work fine. The lower one will work okay. But here's the third strap, and this goes around their legs. This will also be on the chair. It'll just be wrapped around it.
Very important.
This goes around their legs,
Thighs or the?
Legs.
the lower legs, to hold them in. And you guys, don't take this wrong, but we're gonna tie you up in this thing in a minute so that you can see where the straps go. This is still not enough straps. I wish we had at least one more of these to tie their hands. I know that sounds really bad. It is not in fear of getting struck by anybody, but anybody unconscious, their hands do this. They just flop wherever. It's just one more means that takes about 30 seconds to do, and then you've got total control over them. You don't have to worry about banging their hands on anything. You don't have to worry about their hands getting in the way, because they're going to be back by your feet when you lean them back.
What if you do the upper strap around, all the way around the upper body?
Absolutely, that's what
Instead of
that's
just
what we're
chest.
going
Of
to
course,
do.
they have to be somebody smaller probably. If it's a big person.
It's a
it
big
won't.
strap.
No, you can strap me in. I'm good.
This would go all the way around?
Move the other side.
So you could just do it this way to stabilize them
Uh-huh.
instead of just the chest.
Do that one more time.
But his hands will stay.
No, go ahead and tighten it.
How does it work?
Oh, it just pops in. Just fold this chair up.
So you just pull that leather on the back.
You got it?
Any heavier?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a.
It's heavier than you think.
Oh, okay.
It's sturdy. Anybody else? It's stout. Anybody else? Here she is folded up. This is how you're going to find it on the wall. Just like this. Okay? You probably aren't going to need it in here. So put it in your vehicle, fold it up. Don't open it. Okay, so to open it, grab the lower rail and make sure that everything locks. And you're good to go. Okay, now it's deployed. Ready to put something on it. Your back handles just lift up. And that's for the person in the back. Front handles push the little release button.
That's what helps.
Okay, I've got to.
Yeah.
So, you guys, when I said we didn't have as nice a one on the ambulance, the reason is we had smaller handles than the back handles that just folded down on that footrail. So when you would go to pick somebody up, you were standing right here, their feet were right here, so you were out like this. And
Throw your back out that way.
not a good way to carry stuff, as we all know. But since they came out with these extended handles, gives you plenty of space between yourself and who's ever sitting in the chair. Then it's just real easy, you guys. It has two straps, one for the torso, one that goes across the lap. All right?
There should be a third one.
There is, it's right behind you.
Oh, okay.
You guys, this is not enough strapping to put somebody in this chair. The upper one is okay. The upper one will work fine. The lower one will work okay. But here's the third strap, and this goes around their legs. This will also be on the chair. It'll just be wrapped around it.
Very important.
This goes around their legs,
Thighs or the?
Legs.
the lower legs, to hold them in. And you guys, don't take this wrong, but we're gonna tie you up in this thing in a minute so that you can see where the straps go. This is still not enough straps. I wish we had at least one more of these to tie their hands. I know that sounds really bad. It is not in fear of getting struck by anybody, but anybody unconscious, their hands do this. They just flop wherever. It's just one more means that takes about 30 seconds to do, and then you've got total control over them. You don't have to worry about banging their hands on anything. You don't have to worry about their hands getting in the way, because they're going to be back by your feet when you lean them back.
What if you do the upper strap around, all the way around the upper body?
Absolutely, that's what we're
Instead of
going
Of
to
course,
do.
they have to be somebody smaller probably, if it's a big person.
It's a big strap.
No, you can strap me in. I'm good.
This would go all the way around?
Move the other side.
So you could just do it this way to stabilize them
Uh-huh.
instead of just the chest, right?
Do that one more time.
But his hands will stay.
No, go ahead and tighten it.
How does it work?
Oh, it just pops in. It's just... You may have an airway problem.
How's
Joe,
that?
that's not tight.
That's not tight enough?
It's not.
That Norma's pretty strong.
Don't let Norma into my place, okay?
Okay.
In fact, don't let her near my
Hands
place.
hurt.
Now, pretty sturdy, right?
Oh, so your arms still up, okay.
Doesn't matter.
But it does help a little bit.
Oh, it helps tremendously. Don't ever go just across the chest.
Okay, so
Go over the arms. Do not be, don't be afraid that you're
Gonna
gonna.
be there a while.
I would have done it eventually. Don't be afraid to cinch these things down, you guys. You do not want here's another bad statement. You do not want someone getting away from you that you put into this chair. And what I mean by getting away, falling out.
Sideways.
And you notice that when you reefed on it, this thing has no side stability.
Yeah.
Thank you for that great demonstration. I could not have done that better myself. Okay? So they're not intended to be stable side to side, and especially when you put somebody my size in it. But remember, dead weight is dead weight. It doesn't matter what size you are. They are hard to control. And I'm a huge fan of straps.
you should just buy another one.
Yeah, we can buy them. I'll go down.
You know what?
Harbor
You
Freight.
can go to the Harbor Freight and buy them all day long. They're cheap.
I'll pick one up.
They're nothing.
Yeah.
They're nothing. Now, the problem with straps on hands, and you don't mind if
Tie me up. Joyce always tries to.
Joyce, here's a new technique.
You've done that before.
So, you guys, if you do it this way, you have to do it fairly tight, but you have to make sure that you don't cut off the circulation. I've always just kind of run through and then back around, and they don't bind, and they're harder to get off.
Zip ties.
Zip ties are just a little too narrow. I can tell you what works extremely well is duct tape on the thumbs. Oh, wait, that's a different patient. Sorry, digressed. Really bad. Duct tape on thumbs is awesome. If you ever want to calm someone down, duct tape their thumbs to the side of the chair. And when they go to pull, it really hurts. Yep. Tricks of the psychiatric patients are usually pretty good. It's the ones that are usually a little over the top on drugs that are they get the duct tape. And that was a tough one to learn. Anyway, please come and sit. It's
Demonstrate that's not a safe place to sit.
see how it feels on your back?
Good.
Okay, may I use you?
Absolutely.
He's a good patient, he put his hands in.
He did. We won't even have to tie Ernie's hands. So, you guys, as you do this, I'll get it. Okay. Watch. No, there's a reason, you guys. I want to show you, kind of walk you through this. So, even if Ernie's unconscious, the other person who's helping me is going to be holding him, because he's not just going to sit there and comply with what I say. But as I go around, and since I know your name, I'm just going to use your name, Ernie. What we're going to do is we're going to put this upper strap on you, and I'm going to get it tight. So if it gets too tight and you can't breathe, please tell me. Or if you can't talk to me, I'll know you can't breathe. Notice I'm taking my left hand, sliding the strap towards and pulling, so that I'm not just using all my weight to pull one strap, because it'll lock either way. How's that feel?
Nice and snug.
Okay. So, I asked him how it felt. He answered me. And he answered me normal. So, I know it's snug. That's the intended purpose, right? Okay, so the other one, if his hands are, oh, you're turning blue.
What about that underneath here?
You can, if they're unconscious, you can do that. I would still, remember, they can still slide a little bit to the sides. The whole idea, and I'm sorry you guys that I have my back to you. The whole idea behind the stair chair is to make them compact, so that you can get them down those narrow hallways, down those narrow stairwells. So you want to keep things here as much as you can inside this chair. Okay, so watch. Let's try it. If you keep your hands under there. Didn't say I was good with straps. Watch, I'm going to break the buckle the first day. There we go. Again, I'm just going to snug.
Take
Too
off
tight?
your Apple Watch.
Watch your watch.
I don't want to scratch.
No, it's fine, don't worry about it.
You okay?
Yep.
So there we
That
have.
works good.
There we have him fairly well secured, except for his feet.
Right, that's what the other strap.
That's what the other strap is for. But we aren't going to put it on. So there, Ernie's ready to move. Can I do this by myself? Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Thank you for
It
that.
doesn't feel that bad.
Thank you for that sound effect.
Somebody grab the other one.
I intentionally did not tell him that I was moving him, just to see if it would work. Because you guys, when you go to lean him back, you got to make it move. You can't not make it move. Okay, so when we're here, I'm going to tell him, okay, Ernie, we're going to lift you up, okay? But we got you. Don't worry, Tom hasn't dropped anybody all day. Okay. On the count of 3, who's ever at the head is always in charge, because you can see Tom's going to be backing up. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa.
Nope, don't lift that way. There you go. Just be comfortable.
Yeah, but isn't his head gonna be bald whenever we're unconscious?
I can tie that up too. You know what?
How heavy is that?
Duct tape.
Duct tape is
I mean,
really unusual.
Because I'm 185.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Wow.
that's okay. I've got 180. I am kidding. There we go.
It doesn't feel bad at all. Actually, it feels
That's all.
real secure.
So, thank you, Reed.
You're welcome. I'm hoping you let me out of this thing.
I was gonna say, who wants to lift Ernie now?
Exactly.
You
These
can.
will go through.
These will go through them.
Wheelchairs will.
These will go through everything that we have up here and more. This is the perfect device to go on a spiral staircase.
Wow.
The only problem is you can't do this.
Yeah.
You gotta leave the handles in. Now it'll do a spiral staircase. This is why when Ernie contacted me, gave it some thought and went, no, I'd rather take a little time and show people how to use this. This is a piece of medical equipment, you guys. We're very fortunate that we have one. Especially with the situations that we have up here, with everything being tight and set up. And when we're moving around day to day, we go, that's not so bad. My old country coach coming out the door, man, that thing seemed like it was really narrow compared to any of my fifth wheels that I had. So remember, this works well. You have to plan your steps. You have to plan your progress out. Just don't strap them in and say, okay, we're going. You know, talk to them. When you get to the stairs, if Tom and I would have been going downstairs, I would have been talking to Ernie, but I really would have been talking to Tom. Step, step, step. And I would have told him every step he was going to hit so that it wasn't a surprise and he didn't step back too far and go 2. Okay?
Can 2 fit in the chair?
No. If it's your partner that goes down and they're backing down, just kick them out of the way and keep on going. Your patient is, your individual is the one you're worried about. No, that was a bad joke. As a medic, you guys, I was only as good as my crew. You can be a dynamite, anything you want to be, but if you don't have help, it doesn't get you anywhere. So that's why I always said being in medicine was a team sport. Didn't matter where you were. Okay.
What does it say on that bright yellow bar?
It tells you that you got to make sure that it locks into place. Otherwise, when he sits down, it could collapse. Fold up on that.
Collapsing it, you just pull up on that.
When you collapse it, you lift right here in the center. You can hear it unlock. It releases, and it comes up.
Can you turn it around and show us?
Absolutely. Now if I can get it to come back down. And the more that we play with this and use it, the better it'll work.
Yeah, loosens up.
Okay? So you grab the front, the seat, the back, and she just folds up. Preferably not with a patient. The yellow bar is left alone. You didn't see that.
So the straps just go in here when you're not using them?
I would fold the straps up on the seat.
On the seat is where they were.
Yeah, go inside.
Oh, you have to collapse it with the straps?
Just, yeah, on the inside.
And this would go
No, just goes, collapses right here.
Put all 4 of them in there.
You can do them tight. You want me to turn this around? You can do them tight. You can leave them loose. That part isn't that important. You don't want to knot these up too bad, because when you're going to need it is when you need it to come apart.
Okay.
And there she is. And the other strap that I didn't use that I have in my back pocket, you can actually, what it's intended for is to wrap around this to hold it together. But since they were nice enough to send us one, why not? The zipper is so that you can take these off and clean them. Any questions?
Is there a stack of release of liability forms that comes with this? Us being the unwashed public, when we dump somebody out, we're not a medic, I mean, I know Bonnie would sue the hell out of me. So.
In a heartbeat.
So we're on the wrong
So
side.
that's a great question, you guys.
Is there a good Samaritan law or something?
There is a Good Samaritan law in the state of New Mexico, and you're acting in good faith to try to move them out of a bad situation. So you would be covered. However, that's something that you need to consider if you're going to use any medical device. That's part of why I let my paramedic license go. Because now I can stop at any accident I want to, and I can perform to a basic level. I'm not a basic EMT, but I can perform right up. I know where my limit is, and I'm covered under the Good Samaritan law. When you're licensed, and you're in the state that you're licensed in, things are a little different.
Let's try if Norma's willing. Norma, you and I see if we can do Tom.
Oh, wait a
That's a
minute.
good idea.
Or Luke lay down on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Okay? We're gonna bring this around.
Should we pray?
I think it's too late.
It's not around my front.
We can get him all hooked up and we go.
So, folks, breast level seems to be about the right height. It won't slide up, it won't slide down.
Okay.
Okay?
Put your thumb in and pull.
I'm not very
You
good.
got
Oh, I got it, I got it.
No, no,
I got it.
don't.
Don't do what?
Put your hand here.
If you pull on it, you're gonna pull them over.
You're pushing, pull.
Oh, okay, okay.
I found out when something comes up like this, which I've experienced, not this situation, but your adrenaline gets so
You're
high,
panicking.
you become a monster in strength. I've looked at people.
Okay.
That is so true. That's a true statement.
Yeah.
But at that point, do yourself and whoever you're helping a huge favor.
Oh, yeah,
Take
yeah.
2 deep breaths.
I'll never get out of here.
Reset the whole system, and then you can go, because strength isn't what's needed. Finesse really works well.
All right, now,
Let's go
they're
home now.
locked. They're locked.
Okay.
You push the
Right.
button,
Norma should be
push
in
the
front.
button and pull it out.
Well, I don't know if she's strong enough to.
That's me.
Okay.
Tilt it back.
No, do it together.
This way?
No, you guys do it together.
You have to
One,
talk.
You guys
two,
work as a
three.
team. There you go. Okay, now you're lifting.
Not too far.
Yeah, don't let it.
Now relax. Now you're gonna do the majority of the lifting.
Yeah.
Step,
You're gonna be
Step.
going down the stairs.
Are you
Lift.
rolling or
You
lifting?
gotta,
Roll it
I
up.
have to lift it. See if you
No,
do it.
Norma,
Norma, you gotta
Can
get
you
off
lift?
the ground.
Can you lift? Can you lift?
We got the left.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
to lift him, no. Oop.
Oh.
So Deborah, you and I were not gonna get any, but I could get somebody our size out, but not Tom's.
I don't even weigh
Are you
100
lifting?
pounds. Are you lifting? Are you lifting?
I can't lift them up.
There you're off.
I'm gonna hurt my back if I try to lift
Okay,
them.
okay.
Okay, so here's a solution. Did you say your back is bad? Switch sides.
She's not strong enough to lift him.
Well, we're gonna find out.
We'll find
No,
out.
wait. Lean him back.
You're gonna do it together.
Same time.
You can put your hands
Norma's
here.
gonna lean back.
You guys lean him back. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Okay, now put your hands on the handles.
Don't you drop it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Nope. That one happened.
But Randy, why would they have to lift him up anyway? You're gonna go down the stairs out the RV.
Lose some weight.
At some point, maybe you gotta get some.
Paramedic
Okay.
doesn't have arthritis.
No,
We
that's not
could
true.
wheel him if we bounce him down,
Right.
but I couldn't pick
If you
him up.
couldn't lift, you just.
We could control it.
I have to start
Okay.
lifting weights again. I'm gonna have to take care of all of them.
Lose weight.
And forget about Mike, we're not lifting Mike.
Oh, my.
All me.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna do this on my own for a second. I'm going out over that lift.
Okay,
Everybody has a threshold in their house,
okay.
okay? So, if I come to here, and I get to here, I still have to lift.
Yep,
I'm hung up on it.
yep.
Unless I hit this with a little bit of authority. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Where's the release of liability?
You know, I had people sign those every day at work, and I told them just to take a number. That's why you lift. Because even though I could get him over the threshold by myself, this thing is going to fall forward, and there's the risk that he could get hurt.
Yeah.
Especially with a broken leg.
Yes, so that's why. Could you guys help me bring him back in? And there can be two of you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go, that's it.
That's good. Are you available for?
That gave me a good feel. Everybody should sort of do that, do the list.
So you guys, you don't have to carry them the whole time. Downstairs, if you pick them up and you lower them down onto the next
Still carrying mail.
football on the step, you can roll them to the end of the step. But if you're going to do that, you had better really be alert, who's ever back here, so that you don't roll them off the end. Otherwise, what's going to happen is he's going to go face first right into the person trying to control the front.
And you're going to run over.
You guys, I can't emphasize this enough.
I don't want to hear all the bad scenarios.
This is a 2-person activity. And when you're going downstairs, this is the position who's ever in this chair has to be. Looking at what's coming. Seeing what's coming. Okay?
What'd you guys do with Bonnie?
You never turn them around backwards. Liability, you guys, you're assuming some. And remember, getting sued, anybody can sue for any reason that they want to. That's been proven time and time again.
Doesn't mean they'll succeed. But
It doesn't mean it'll succeed, but I'll tell you what, it will make your life,
Miserable.
I have another word, for a short period of time, because people just, that's kind of the society we live in. A lot of folks want a quick dollar. And what's the easiest way to get it?
Settlement.
Yeah, settlement. No work on their part. The attorneys do all of that. But anyway, okay, let me let you go.